It is now official, Donald Trump has won the US elections, which in my opinion could be the catalyst for the long-awaited parabolic rise in the cryptocurrency market. We have also seen altcoins at a new all-time high, with some altcoins temporarily up by 10, 20, or even 50%. As mentioned earlier, I am sure that the elections have tipped the scales. Precisely because of this, we also had a new all-time high in altcoins. In my opinion, some altcoins will also follow suit now. That's why it is really the last chance to position yourself in time before everything happens. Now to possibly make final reallocations. For this reason, we will discuss some altcoins in today's video, whether it's AI coins, DeFi coins, or RWA coins. At the end of the video, logically, we will also cover some meme coins. I am not paid by any of these projects, but it is incredibly important to take another look at the altcoin market now, because there are truly gigantic opportunities arising here. It is obvious that we are currently at a major turning point in the cryptocurrency market. Therefore, I will also provide concrete insights into my personal strategy during the video, highlighting the opportunities I am taking advantage of at this time. So please stay tuned until the end. But now let's start with the content. As you can see here, some altcoins have surged extremely over the last 24 hours. It was also to be expected, not necessarily that Trump would win. That was not to be expected in that sense. It was very, very exciting. But what was definitely to be expected if Trump were to win, which is now of course the case, is that a Trump pump would occur. So a brief surge of euphoria in the overall crypto market. And that's why we also see Bitcoin reaching a new all-time high above 74,000 US dollars, which is obviously gigantic because a sustainable trend reversal has been initiated here, especially with the last pump, this Trump pump we saw. We can see quite well that Trump was the trigger for what has now almost caused an overflow. Overall, the crypto market was already in a relatively good position regarding general charts, but Trump has once again triggered the euphoria that has brought us above the last all-time high. And these are truly historical moments that we are celebrating at this time, because a lot is going to happen in the crypto market overall. We also see a nice overview here again. We are really in the beginnings of this parabolic rise. It will most likely play out just like it did in 2017, 2018, based on how everything looks right now. It's really crazy how the parallels are currently present. We are almost exactly following the template one-to-one. It's almost frightening how strong the parallels are, but we can also see quite well how strong we currently are at the beginning. And as soon as the all-time high is sustainably broken on a weekly basis, as we can see here in the overview, this parabolic rise can take effect. So I am also relatively sure that everything will be initiated quite quickly, which will of course spill over to the altcoin market sooner or later. So it is already written in the books. As soon as altcoins rise and Bitcoin dominance later falls, an altcoin season will be triggered. We are extensively preparing for this altcoin season here on my YouTube channel. So if you want to make sure you don't miss any further content in the future, feel free to leave a subscription. It would support me greatly. A lot is coming your way in the future. But now let's jump directly to the altcoins I want to talk about in today's video. I hope you have also watched the last videos where I talked extensively about my strategy change. We can see it here really perfectly. It's once again a prime example. What is currently the best performer in my portfolio? It is exactly Sigma with a total of over 300%. So really happy profits to each of you who made this trade or investment, who joined us. I also received some comments under the last YouTube video or under the YouTube video where I announced how my further strategy will look, and here really 300% in just a few days, so really happy profits to each of you. So that was the video again. Major changes have also been seen by over 2,000 people. In my opinion, such opportunities are arising again at this time, so these are not necessarily big outliers that one should be overly excited about. Of course, it's nice to take the 3x, but in my opinion, there are significantly more opportunities at this time that one can also take advantage of. So we will talk about a few meme coins at the end of the video, so if any of you can handle a bit more risk, feel free to stay until the end. Now, let's first talk about the utility coins. So some AI coins, deepen coins that I am currently keeping a close eye on, or where I have made additional purchases. I would say, for transparency reasons in today's video, I am invested in about 90% of the coins I am presenting today, so you are informed about that. IT Protocol, currently with a market cap of just 32 million, is really an absolute hidden gem for me, which could potentially achieve a 100x, so 3 billion must be awaited, but I would say a 10x is quite realistic. We can also see it here over the last 7 days. A significant volume has come in, and for me personally, the main indicator is to see when Bitcoin reaches a new all-time high, and we simply see that some altcoins are pumping. So we can take a look at the overview. In my opinion, the best indicator, regardless of utility or meme coins, is to observe which narratives and industries are performing best. If I look at the overall picture and simply see that certain altcoins are performing better than others, it is, in my opinion, the best indication of how the upcoming bull run will play out. So we see here, of course, an increase in meme coins, plus 33%, plus 23%. So I would particularly focus on the larger bubbles. Also, of course, some AI coins are represented here, but especially the coins that did not perform well during the recent pump or are lagging a bit, such as VeChain, Shiba Inu, Ape, or especially an ADA. So especially the coins that have also gained percentages now, or a GRT, is of course fine, 8% or even 5%. So you can't complain. But I personally am currently focusing very strongly on the coins that are performing well now, because in my opinion, the trend is already set here. Especially meme coins or a BitTensor Tau here with 14% is also doing very well. A Solana with 12%. So in my opinion, these are already the winners, even through the upcoming bull run. And if I can also recognize this well, of course, occasionally. AI projects, for example, also gaining over 20% here, so from the absolute bottom, it is of course a very good indication that such AI coins will continue to perform well. IT Protocol runs on the BitTensor Tau subnet is the bet on BitTensor. The tokenomics of IT Protocol are also excellent. Throughout the entire summer, first of all, results were delivered, and secondly, some token burn mechanisms took place. So there is definitely a deflationary factor present. Otherwise, the next project, Paul AI, I am also very convinced, has a very, very good track record. So we started back in 2023, and we had already seen good developments. And then, of course, during the AI season, it is also a very positive sign for me when such AI projects already existed before this hype emerged, because many were simply launched out of the hype. Also, a market cap of 200 million has established itself significantly better than others. For me, this is also a candidate that will easily reach the billion range. Otherwise, the next project, Spectral AI, also appeals to me extremely well because there is already an existing product at this point in time. Here, you have a kind of blockchain, it's AI prediction tool. Current market cap is 18 million, so it is still completely at the beginning. We also see here on a daily basis that the project has performed very well with over 20%, which is a very positive sign, as explained earlier. Currently also at $2, so in my opinion, we are still completely at the beginning here. I can also well imagine that we will reach a market cap of $500 million. As mentioned, we are still completely at the beginning. It is very, very high risk. Here too, we currently have no listings available. So unfortunately, or rather fortunately in this sense, it is only available through Uniswap. Many always complain, I feel, also in the comments. Yes, hey Vincent, unfortunately, these coins are nowhere to be bought on exchanges. In my opinion, it is a very positive sign, because then the broad mass, the retailers, are not invested. For many, it is actually too complicated to buy even through Uniswap. Therefore, one can position oneself early, before, of course, the listings take place, because at the end of the day, in my opinion, exchange listings are only there to then reach the broad mass later. So that is simply my personal strategy to become aware of crypto projects before they find broad acceptance, before the mass jumps on. And that is of course perfect when there are no significant listings available yet, because later, listings simply mean more liquidity, so you are informed about it. Otherwise, the next project, GLQ, has thus delivered one of the best interim performances. So here from $0.004 overall up to $14. So that was really a tremendous exponential growth that has taken place here. Now also here on a daily basis over 20%. So it looks very, very good. Where I am also very bullish on GLQ, which in my opinion can easily reach the billion market cap range, is one of my top hidden gems. In this case, we already have some exchange listings, of course. In the long term, it is definitely a green flag, so a positive sign when exchange listings are available, because if, of course, there are no exchange listings over a long period, it raises doubts about whether there is enough liquidity for the project to go public on the exchange. Because liquidity and capital are, of course, needed to be listed on an exchange, so that is also important to understand. Then the next project, Origin Trail, I haven't mentioned that often on my YouTube channel, but I have become increasingly convinced of it lately because it has also delivered strongly throughout the entire summer lull. Current market cap of 260 million makes it one of the safer bets, so it is not necessarily a hidden gem, which has a market cap of 26 million, so it already has a certain establishment, but there is also quite a bit already in place here. So I really like the project itself as it combines two narratives, AI together with RWA. Let's take a look at the website. However, I recommend that in the end, everyone does their own research. As I said, I am not paid by any of the projects, but just so you know, always do your own research in addition to my videos. Destra Network is also doing very, very well. I have also mentioned it repeatedly on my YouTube channel. It's also a project that I really like. Then, OpenGPU. Of course, an absolute classic in the hidden gem area. One of my favorites in that sense. It was also actually heavily punished over the last few days. This is unusual for OpenGPU. We can take a look on a monthly basis. We have experienced some selling pressure here. We have returned to $62 in the meantime. However, we have also recovered very, very quickly here. So over 33% on a daily basis. So there are sometimes absolutely no worries at all. That is just part of it at the end of the day. Those who have taken advantage of the opportunity here as well. Poppy profits at this point, but I personally have not bought any more. So my OpenGPU bag is actually actually closed at this point. As I said, I also have a detailed video about OpenGPU on my YouTube channel, thus one of the best hidden gems, because Certic audit with 95% is given, so the security is gigantic. In my opinion, it gives me early BitTensor vibes, especially regarding the tokenomics. It is really a rarity to have such good fundamentals. Of course, at the end of the day, one still has to wait and see how well this project will be accepted by the market. Does it resonate with investors? Is the marketing good? We still have some factors that remain open with OpenGPU. I definitely don't want to oversell it at this point. One still has to be cautious with a 12 million market cap, but nonetheless, the foundation is there, utility is present, and the marketing is, in my opinion, also very good. We have a healthy chart progression. So everything is very well established in that sense. That's why it is also one of my largest positions in my own portfolio, so you are informed about that. Then the next project, XSwap, I haven't mentioned for a while on my YouTube channel. It is a kind of RWA project, essentially a decentralized infrastructure being created to tokenize assets, to bring assets onto the blockchain. It's very exciting. Current market cap is 83 million. In my opinion, it's one of the best RWA projects that can be included in one's own portfolio. That's why I've also built up a bit of a tranche here. By now, you know my strategy. For the most part, I am weighted in AI coins and meme coins, or rather AI DeFi and meme coins, and partially in RWA coins and gaming coins. That's why there's also an RWA project here that can definitely be included. AI tech has actually awakened a bit again. It's a bit unfortunate that AI tech hasn't performed particularly well over the past few weeks, but I'm also sure that AI tech will make a comeback, so I personally have no worries about that at all. As I said, I bought AI tech at 4 US cents, which I had introduced on my YouTube channel back then. I think some of you should still be in profit, but I must honestly admit here that I also clearly bought on the way down. That's why I'm not significantly in profit anymore. As for AI tech, it's a bit unfortunate that it has come back so strongly, but I think it's relatively obvious that a very good base is currently forming with AI tech, and there are also very good entry opportunities. So for those who haven't fully accumulated AI tech yet, I think there are still very good opportunities at this point. Then, 01 Labs, one of my top favorites in the hidden gem AI sector. I had already mentioned it on my YouTube channel back then. I would need to scroll down and find the video again. I made a detailed video specifically about 01 Labs, which he had presented in detail 5 months ago, so you can also tune in again if you're interested. But here I also see gigantic potential. In my opinion, it is truly a competitor to BitTensor Tau. In this case, 01 Labs provides a similar decentralized infrastructure for AI applications, and this is done via proof of stake, not like BitTensor Tau, which uses proof of work. In my opinion, this has several advantages over BitTensor, and here with a market cap of 63 million, it's not particularly much for such a project. It has also shown very good performance over the last few days and weeks from the absolute bottom, going from 15 cents to 70 cents, which certainly speaks for itself. So people are also incredibly bullish on the project no matter where you look in the community. There is already a very good investor awareness. That's why I am really optimistic here. I have repeatedly bought more, so I also have a relatively large position. It is actually one of my top 10 projects in my own portfolio, so you are informed about that. Then I wanted to include tech as another layer 1. I also see a lot of potential here. At the current time, we have also come back well, so plus 17% on a daily basis. But I also think that in the long term, we have very good growth opportunities regarding tech, so it is one of my favorite layer 1 projects. I am not massively invested here, but it is still a good choice in my opinion if you want to cover layer 1s in your own portfolio. Then let's talk about the next project, which is Sensei, also with a market cap of 5 million, thus extremely high risk. One has to be very careful here, but I like it very much and would like to include it more often in my videos. We have also found very good support here, especially at 0.0012 US dollars, so we have also come back well. In my opinion, the ultimate bottom is already in place here. I can't really imagine that we will break through this support below us again, which is why I made a small investment here due to the recent pump. Because I really like Sensei here. We can take a look at the website regarding the use case. We have the opportunity to bring autonomous digital replicas onto the blockchain. So, a kind of decentralized agents. We have also seen it from other projects. We can take a look at Spectral. It is also a project that I like very much, which covers a similar use case. Simply bring decentralized AI agents onto the blockchain, and here, Sensei is going in a similar direction. And with a market cap of 5 million, it can, as mentioned, go very quickly. That one can also reach 50 million, 100 million, 200 million. Therefore, I see very good potential for the future here. That's why I made a small investment. Then the next project is Neural AI. In my opinion, it is also an absolute classic that must not be missing from the portfolio, whether it's from the price performance, utility, marketing, or community. Here, a lot fits in terms of tokenomics. Also, just a 50 million market cap, so Neural AI definitely belongs in my top 5 AI hidden gems. I would claim, just off the top of my head, that Neural AI 01 Labs, IT Protocol, OpenGPU, GLQ. Those are my top 5 personally. where I am firstly the most invested and also see the most potential, so you know. So all AI hidden gems are of course mentioned in today's video. Otherwise, if you are more interested in the AI hidden gems, I uploaded a video here 3 weeks ago, which was also very well received by you, where you can see the top 20 again, but here I just briefly mentioned the top 5 off the top of my head. As mentioned, neural AI must not be missing from any portfolio. I also really like the chart here. The application is top notch. In this case, 2 narratives are covered, gaming and AI, which we simply have as an opportunity here. We can think of it similarly to JetGPT. You can imagine we can input a prompt into JetGPT and then receive either a text or an image generated, and in this case we have the opportunity to create a prompt and then we receive digital 3D assets here which can be used for games, for in-games. For example, we can create something like a helmet or individual swords, armor, characters, or even individual parts of the landscape can be generated. In my opinion, the use case is completely gigantic because you have to imagine the gaming market itself is worth multi-billions. That's one thing. And secondly, one must consider that when developing a game, the developments, the graphics, meaning all the graphics that need to be created to set up such a game, is thus the biggest work. So the most money and work goes into that, and if such work is taken over by AI, the use case is obviously gigantic. So some jobs will probably be terminated, especially in gaming projects, because I can well imagine that so much will be replaced by AI. Here, for example, we see a helmet, which usually takes several hours, and often requires years of experience to create such a thing. So you first need the expertise. So especially such developers are usually very, very expensive, and if such work can be taken over by AI with a generation time of 118 seconds, it is obviously gigantic. So we see various items that can be created here. That's why I really like the chart here. Tokenomics utility is also one of my larger projects in my own portfolio. Now we are going to talk a bit about the topic of meme coins. In my opinion, it is extremely essential at this point that we talk about meme coins because here we have actually made the most profits in the past days and weeks. I think you have probably been looking forward to me talking about this again. Feel free to write in the comments what you currently like best about the content. But we also see here again an extremely important post. As I said, if you don't follow me on Twitter, feel free to follow Vincent_Stick_Crypto. I will also be making regular posts there, but we can also see quite well what has performed best at this point in time. We see down here Ethereum up 11%, altcoins up 12% over the last 24 hours. What is clearly visible here is that Logan, SPX, APU, so all the culture coins have performed by far the best, and in some cases 60%, 50% percentages. And this is also noticeable in my own portfolio. It's not just that I'm talking hot air or anything like that, but I always see it based on my own numbers in my own portfolio. It has always been the case that the meme coins have performed the best, so in my own portfolio, they have had the best numbers in terms of price. Now we will take a look at the culture coins. I have prepared quite a bit for you here. Be sure to watch the last video. It was also perfect in terms of timing since I uploaded the video, so really happy profits to each of you. All the culture coins have absolutely exploded. We can also see it here, for example. Let's take a look at the last video. I had presented the 16 best culture meme coins, and I have ranked Hoppy in first place, similar to back then, right at the top with the 100x. Now in this case, I have ranked Alpha in first place, right at the top. Reject modernity. We can take a look at it. Since the video, it has also shown a decent performance, so I had presented it back then, around that time. Feel free to take a look. So really at this point, a good 2.5x for each of you. I personally was already invested back then, directly at the breakout, so I also took a 3.4x in the meantime. It looks very, very good also with this project. I am still very, very bullish and convinced about Alpha. In my opinion, it is one of the best culture coins because we have seen it from GigaChat. We can take a look at it. So here, the performance lately is absolutely gigantic, and when I see, okay, we have GigaChat, we have Sigma, and now of course Alpha. Alpha is actually the best, the leading one, especially when we look at the whole spectrum. Alpha, beta, gamma. There are so many memes in the man's culture about beta males, alpha males, which everyone should know. The alpha male is the best, the greatest, and in my opinion, especially with such culture meme coins, particularly those meme coins that are uplifting, meaning something positive that stand for something and against something, will perform the best by far. I am really very, very sure about that, especially with this meme coin. As I said, I am not paid. At the end of the day, it is still incredibly high risk to invest here. But in my personal opinion, it is very obvious that there will also be good performance here, simply because we have a clear slogan. Of course, the ticker, Alpha. You can also see the clear motto here, reject modernity. And that is exactly what I mean. You stand for something, you also stand against something. Against all this woke bullshit that is currently happening, or against all this degenerate stuff that is taking place in the modern world. And in my opinion, it is therefore a very good motto, or a good community that can be formed through it. You stand for something and against something, and especially this topic of reject modernity, which is becoming increasingly popular and modern. Many men can simply identify with standing for certain values, for certain principles that also stand against something. Such cultures that are being built could later have almost cult-like effects. Quasi-half religions arise from this, and such things perform best based on experience, and not just based on experience, but it is also a fact. We can look at other culture meme coins. Here, the best example is SPX. You stand against the stock market, so basically against the big elites, however you want to put it, against the big shareholders who manipulate the market, similar to what happened with GameStop, against the big hedge funds that shorted GameStop, where there was also this gigantic short squeeze, and similar behavior here with SPX. And here, with SPX, a similar case, a very large cult has also emerged just like with GigaChat, so it's the same game there as well. And I can also imagine something like this with this Alpha coin, so it really looks very good to me at the moment, but I definitely don't want to oversell it because I always have to be extremely careful, as some people from my community really invest blindly, which is something you really shouldn't do. I am also not paid by the project or anything like that. I just see a lot of potential, and I see projects like this that are really still at the beginning, where I could seriously imagine that something like this could go 50x or more. Now, on to the next project, namely Aura. It's also a meme that is relatively popular, to simply gain more aura. As I said, everything is very similar. Definitely check out the last video. There I go into detail about all the individual culture meme coins, but I bought them again in that sense. We really caught Aura perfectly at the absolute bottom. I mentioned it in the last video where I bought more. Then the next meme coin manifest is also just about to reach an all-time high, also a good 2x since the video. So it doesn't really matter what you would have bought. Since I made the video, you would have made relatively good profits. Then the next project, MLG, No Scope, I also mentioned in the last video, is also making one all-time high after another. The chart looks gigantic here as well. As I mentioned in the last video, I also invested a bit here, and I've taken a good 2x profit, and I've already taken some initial profits so that you know, but I can also well imagine that MLG could break through 20 to 30 million US dollars again. It's not necessarily something with mega mainstream potential because it is really a meme that goes very niche, especially MLG No Scope. It concerns many gamers who played back in the day, and they definitely know what the meme refers to, but I think we can also expect good performance here in the future. Otherwise, I really like Let Him Cook as well, both from the chart perspective. It looks very, very good here. We perfectly caught the bottom, so in the last video I also mentioned that I see strong support here, and it is also perfect. The price has of course come back, so at first glance it doesn't look like much, but when you measure it, you see 60%. That's quite decent. Then the next project that I actually like significantly better than in the last video. I had categorized Stoicism in the last video, right at the bottom, 0 or 0, but I actually see very good potential. It has really developed well, especially over the last few days. Current market cap of 800,000 is extremely risky. You have to be very careful, but the chart looks very clean here as well. With higher interim lows and higher interim highs, we can take a look at Twitter here, and I also really like the marketing. So it is very qualitative. It is also a culture that stands for something and against something. It is also a project that can relatively quickly reach 10 million. Therefore, if the marketing continues to deliver here, I still see good potential. It also has a relatively good chart because we are starting from point 0. For me personally, it is very important with meme coins that you simply start from point 0, that a fair launch has taken place and not necessarily a pre-sale or something else where it was dumped first. So the chart itself looks relatively clean here as well. Wojak has also almost touched the support box at this point. A market cap of 78 million is a meme for me that definitely has mainstream potential, which can easily reach the billion range, simply because there is gigantic meme potential here, or the meme is already huge. You should search for Wojak on YouTube. There is also a whole YouTube series about Wojak. So there is already quite a bit to find about the meme, and I think everyone knows Wojak. And of course, when the general public jumps on crypto, Wojak could become one of the top performers. Otherwise, NPC is also a term that became very popular, especially when you are stuck in the matrix as an NPC. I can also well imagine that NPC will reach the billion market cap range. Then the next project, Fefe, is thus the little brother of Hoppy. We have already seen a strong price performance from Hoppy, now with a market cap of over 100 million. Fefe, so to speak, the little brother, currently at 6 million, is also coming back relatively well in my opinion, so I see very good potential here. Regarding the Boys Club meme, otherwise the last meme from today's video, Turbo, is currently at a market cap of $500 million. One can also consider that it is a meme that has established itself a bit more than others, essentially as a kind of safe bet. Otherwise, that's it for today's altcoins. I really enjoyed it again. Also, if you want to have all the altcoins nicely organized, or if you want to know in time when I personally buy and sell, or generally which altcoins I have on my radar, feel free to check the link in my video description. I have created my own expert group there. There are actually already over 100 members in the groups who are now also successfully celebrating their profits. As mentioned, there will be some calls coming out in the future. You will find all the hidden gems that I keep talking about on my YouTube channel here. Especially some meme coin analyses will be posted here in a timely manner so that you can see such opportunities early on and stay informed. So these are exactly the meme coins that I keep mentioning here in the YouTube videos, but you can see it here, for example, with Stoicism, also at a market cap of 600,000, so one could have already taken quite a bit of profit there. I am much more agile there and can provide analyses for you much earlier, so you will definitely always be kept up to date. There are a total of 7 different subgroups, which you can take a look at in peace. I would of course be happy to meet some of you here. As mentioned, there are already over 100 members, and it is definitely very well received by you, for which I am extremely grateful. Otherwise, that's it for today's video. It brought me an incredible amount of joy. Be sure to write in the comments which altcoins you have bought at this time. Feel free to write in the comments how you currently assess the market, what you think will happen in the coming days and weeks. Otherwise, I sincerely thank you for your attention, and I would say we will see each other again in the next video.